Hey there, welcome. If you're here, you're probably looking to get a handle on your product data in a big way. Well, you've come to the right place. In this explainer, we're going to dive deep into the Pickler product data template. This is your key to creating and updating hundreds, even thousands of products all at once.
So, let's get real. You're a power user, right? You're juggling huge volumes of product information, trying to get it all lined up for things like sustainability reports and, well, all the new compliance rules coming down the pipe. We totally get it, and that's exactly what this tool was designed to solve.
Now, it's super important to understand the workflow here. Your main product data, your single source of truth, that lives in your ERP system. You're not actually managing that data inside Pickler. Think of this template as the bridge. It's how you bring that data into Pickler so you can start doing the cool stuff, like running powerful footprint calculations and getting everything ready for the digital product passport.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We've broken this down into 5 simple parts. First, we'll talk about why this is your go-to power tool. Then we'll get into navigating the template itself, cover the most important data, add those crucial sustainability details, and finally, get you ready to import. Let's do it.
All right, first things first. Let's talk about when you should even be reaching for this template. Because honestly, it's a very specific tool for a very specific, high-volume kind of job. And this is a really crucial point. If you're just adding one product, or maybe you're just getting started with Pickler, my best advice is to use the standard product form right inside the app. Seriously, it's the best way to get a feel for how all the data fits together. This spreadsheet, on the other hand, this is your heavy lifter. This is for when you need to create or update hundreds of products in one shot.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. When you first open this template, it can look, well, a little overwhelming. There are a lot of columns, a lot of tabs. But don't worry. We've designed it with a very clear logic to guide you. Let's break it down.
To make this whole thing manageable, we built in a simple color coding system. Think of it as your roadmap, right? Red columns are mandatory. You absolutely have to fill these in to create a product. Yellow columns are important for accuracy. But here's the cool part. If you leave them blank, Pickler can step in and use some conservative default values for you. And then anything without a color, that's just extra data you can add later on for even more detail.
So the best way to tackle this is to do it in stages. Don't feel like you have to fill out every single cell on your first try. Just focus on the red and yellow columns. Get your products into the system, get some initial calculations going. You can always come back and enrich that data set later on.
Now for the fun part. Let's actually look at the template, and we're going to start with the most important tab of all, the core product general data. Every single product you work with, whether it's brand new or you're just updating it, starts right here in this tab. This is the absolute foundation. Any new product has to be added here first, and some nifty formulas will automatically pull its ID and name into all the other tabs for you.
Within this tab, there are a few fields that are absolutely critical. The ID is mandatory, and you can't change it later, so make sure you use that unique, permanent identifier from your ERP. Name and description are pretty straightforward. Status just lets you control if it's a draft or verified. And this default values toggle, it's a lifesaver. Setting it to yes is what tells Pickler to fill in any of those data gaps for you. Okay, with that foundation in place, now we can start layering on all the rich sustainability and compliance data. This is what makes the whole thing so powerful.
First up, you'll see a tab for product components. Now here's the deal with this one. You should only use this tab when your product is made of truly distinct parts, like say a glass jar and a metal lid that are manufactured separately. For most standard packaging, this tab just isn't necessary. You can just skip right over it.
Next up are the pack, case, and pallet tabs. This is for your secondary and tertiary packaging. Best practice here, keep it simple. Because these things usually weigh so little compared to the actual product, their environmental impact is often pretty minimal. A basic description of the main materials is usually more than enough to get the job done. The Transport Legs tab is where you define your product's journey from A to B to C. And you'll probably notice something here. There are no mandatory red fields. That's because every single yellow field can be replaced by Pickler's default values if you don't have the exact data. So you can still get a footprint calculation even with some missing information.
And the final layers are end of life and compliance. End of life is where you specify how the product is thrown away. But a quick word of caution here, only use custom scenarios if you have the verified data to back it up. The Compliance Data tab is where you'll add all that extra info you need for regulations and to really flesh out your digital product passport.
So you've gathered all your data, you've filled out the template, you've done the hard part.
The final step is to bring all of that great work into the Pickler platform.
And the import process itself is super straightforward. Just log in with manager or owner permissions, head over to the import page and upload your file. Pickler will then automatically check everything and flag any potential errors for you to look at, guiding you right through those final steps.
Listen, we know this template is a serious tool and that it can feel like a lot to take in when you're just starting out. But please remember, we are absolutely here to help you get this right. We want you to succeed.
So if you run into an error message that doesn't make sense or you just have a question about a specific field, don't hesitate. Please reach out. You can ping us through the chat right inside the app or just send an email to support@pickler.io.
The hard work of getting the data ready is officially done. And now, the really exciting part begins. With all this rich information bridged from your ERP right into Pickler, the big question is, what are you going to discover first? What insights are you about to unlock?